What are we being invited to step into and to allow into our lives at the time of this new moon in Cancer? This video is about the new moon. It is about the energies that are going to be present for all of us. And with the tarot cards, I'm going to show you what is being invited for us to expand into, to really allow into our lives at the time of this moon, at the time of all of these very expansive energies that are actually present for us at this time. Now, this new moon in Cancer is occurring on the 14th of July. Where I'm at in South Africa, it is occurring at 11:44 a.m. It is occurring at 21 degrees and 59 minutes of Cancer. So basically 22 degrees of Cancer. Now, when we look at where a new moon or a full moon is sitting, we always look at the sign and we look at the ruler of the sign. Now, this is a beautiful and interesting new moon because it's in Cancer, and Cancer is the house of the moon. So what this means is that the moon is present in a place that is home. It is very, very easy for the moon at this time to bring those energies that it feels natural to embody. So there's something about this new moon in Cancer that is allowing us to go deeper into those things related to the moon, our emotions, how we deal with emotions and feelings. We might feel very deeply at the time of this new moon, and we can be very connected to things related to family, to home. This can be your physical home, how you relate to your family in your physical home. It can be your spiritual home. It can go as deep as, what are we doing on this planet? Our physical home at this time, where we are residing as spiritual beings in a physical place. And then the reason I feel that this new moon is taking us even deeper into these Cancer and moon qualities of our family, our intuition, our connection to belonging and nurturing, is because this new moon is also sitting very, very close to the Mercury retrograde. Now, the way I see retrogrades, and especially with Mercury as well, because Mercury is that energy that is very capable of connecting to the subconscious and the conscious mind. And Mercury is that energy that is as capable of relating and being in the light and the shadow. It has that dual quality, which is actually beautiful because it allows for us to connect to very deep parts of ourselves. Now, the reason I'm saying that this influence is even stronger at the time of this new moon is because Mercury is retrograde. And when a planet is retrograde, it allows for us to have a deeper inward experience, to really withdraw to a certain extent from outward expression and to reevaluate and really come to different conclusions and even come to different expressions when the retrograde ends in terms of things related to Mercury and things related to the Cancer part of our charts. So this really is a very deep new moon. It can be very emotional. We can even mentally go deeper into how we are now expressing emotions in a new way because of this Mercury retrograde, and feeling and seeing parts of our emotional world and our familial world that can take us back lifetimes or to our younger years to much more deeply understand why we are the emotional being that we are today, why we do things in a certain way, why we process things in a certain way. So there can be a lot of things being revealed for all of us at the time of this new moon, because the moon is so strong in its own sign, and because it's sitting so close to Mercury retrograde, which is at 19 degrees 50 of Cancer. So about 2 degrees, Mercury is about 2 degrees away from this new moon. So be gentle with yourself. There can be a lot of things, like I said, even from childhood, growing up, those formative years that are being revealed to us at the time of this new moon. And it's here for our healing. You know, it can be challenging when these things that we have maybe tried to suppress are being revealed to us. And at the same time, it is such a beautiful part of our healing and human experience on this planet to allow for things to surface, to come to new perspectives, to come to new emotional expressions, you know, in order to have new experiences now in this new cycle, in this moon cycle, and in this 6-month cycle that is created at the time of a new moon. Now, I drew a card for the whole chart of this new moon and received something that really feels very apt: the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups, of course, it's a cup card. It's dealing with our emotions. And this card is very much about our emotional expression. So again, whatever is unfolding and coming to light for us at the time of this new moon, we may feel very inward, like we're processing a lot because of the Mercury retrograde. And yet we may be at a place of where we can express emotionally in a new way. The Knight of Cups, you can see it's almost like he's carrying the gift of this cup, some kind of emotional expression. And he also has the wings of Mercury on his helmet and on his shoes. So there is also a more communicative, mind-related aspect to this card, even though it is a cup card, which is emotional. So there's something here about maybe an offer, and this can be to ourselves, or maybe it can be related to somebody else, where we can now offer ourselves emotional holding and gentleness and understanding in a new way that maybe we could not express before. We can access parts of our emotional world that maybe we could not access before. We can be very in touch with our feelings when it comes to this Knight of Cups. And it is very much about trusting our intuition as well. So whatever is unfolding for you personally at the time of this new moon, know that when the Knight of Cups shows up, it's about trusting your intuition, you know. And you can see he's obviously riding a horse and holding a cup, you know. So hold very gently, and also with a lot of perspective and kindness, whatever is unfolding for you emotionally at this time. And know that this represents a brand new cycle also of emotional fulfillment. There is a gift in this card that is around new cycles of emotional fulfillment. And this can be, again, like I said, just in terms of how we relate to ourselves. You know, our primary relationship is always with ourselves, and how we hold our emotions, how we talk to ourselves inwardly, can really shift and change and find a new cycle at the time of this new moon, which is absolutely lovely. Now, I am very sure that if you are into astrology, you have heard about this basket formation that we are all experiencing at the time of this new moon. This basket formation between Jupiter in Leo, Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, and Uranus in Gemini, it is very much building. It is 1 degree away from all of these planets being exact in aspect to each other. It will be exact on the 20th of July. So at this point, we're about a week away from that. So these energies will be very, very strong already. There is a sense here of a lot of expansion. We are dealing with all of these outer planets and then also Jupiter in the mix, which means that a lot can shift for us individually and also for the entire collective of our planet, because the outer planets deal more with long-term and subconscious things. So all of the planets being involved, you know, Uranus can bring very sudden change, insights, things changing very, very quickly, especially in the air sign of Gemini. Neptune can be very spiritually expansive and really allow for us as individuals and a collective to really tap into our imagination, our intuition in brand new ways. And Pluto is bringing that sense of accessing our shadows and our subconscious in new ways that we have not done before. So there can be a lot of transformation. And what is happening then is we also have the top of this basket formation is being formed by Jupiter, which is opposite Pluto. Now, at the time of this new moon, Jupiter is at 3 degrees and Pluto is at 4 degrees. So this aspect of opposition is building, but it's going to be very strongly felt at the time of this new moon. Now, Jupiter is about systems that hold life together. Those things that we have built as humans in the name of wisdom, our religions, our philosophy, our laws. It's those general things in life that bring coherence and understanding to society. Now, with this energy of Jupiter being opposite Pluto, there can be such a tension element here of what is coming to light in terms of our shadow aspects, unconscious things that humans have been playing out on this planet for a long time. And whatever is transpiring here can really allow us to come to places where we are finding new ways of wisdom to move forward. So the old systems of laws, of religions, of all the systems and philosophies that kind of hold the world together that are no longer working can come to light to the whole collective at this time. You know, more things can come to light in order for things to start shifting and changing. And with the opposition, it can feel like a tension, but because Pluto is involved, there is such scope for transformation and things really being born, reborn in a new way. You know, systems that have been in place for hundreds or thousands of years that are not serving us as humans anymore can really start coming to light at this time. Now, the card that showed up for this Jupiter opposite Pluto is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is also a very emotional energy. Out of all the cups in the tarot, she holds the biggest cup or chalice. So there is something here about really, really connecting to our emotions and our intuition. The Queen of Cups is a very, very solid, grounded emotional energy, and also very expansive in terms of compassion, in terms of intuition, in terms of depth of emotional quality and connection. So this card feels so good in terms of Jupiter opposite Pluto, in the sense that, yes, I'm sure there are going to be tensions around with this basket energy and with this Jupiter opposite Pluto as well. But there really is something developing for all of us on this planet right now, in the sense that a lot of people are stepping into a deeper sense of compassion, a deeper sense of wanting equality, a deeper sense of connecting to love and compassion on this planet. So yes, we are seeing those opposite energies as well. And often when new things are being born, those opposites can feel like they are so strong and in your face. But please stay connected to this beautiful energy of love and compassion, and hold that in a very, very grounded way as much as you can. That is very much the invitation with this Queen of Cups card. Now, I also drew a card for the whole basket formation that is forming. So, the Queen of Cups was just for Jupiter being opposite Pluto. And what I received for the basket, which now involves Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, they're already at 4 degrees of their respective signs. Jupiter is at 3 degrees. Jupiter will also be at 4 degrees around about the 19th, 20th of July. So this basket formation is such a strong new energy of inviting new things. And the card that I received is the 3 of Wands. Now, this really is an invitation for all of us to expand, to expand into new horizons, to expand into new ways of being. This card is very much about leadership. So being a leader in a new way in your life, but also calling for better leaders in the world, focusing on what kind of leaders are we electing, what kind of leaders we would love to have in your family, the leaders in your family, the leaders in your community, the leaders in your country. These things can all expand and grow, and we can make progress at the time of this, of the formation of this basket. Now, bearing in mind that this progress and expansion might not be instantaneous this week, because of the fact that when it comes to the energies of Pluto, Neptune and Uranus, they are still going to be forming this minor grand trine that they are in for over the next few years until 2029. So this is a long-term energy, but specifically for this basket, this invitation is to explore, to choose your alliances wisely, to work on expansion that is really, really connected to the heart, and to connect to leadership in your own life and out there in the world that really feels connected to our values. And then the last aspect that I would like to talk about at the time of this new moon is also related to Uranus at 4 degrees of Gemini. And this aspect is already separating, but it's still quite strong at the time of this new moon. And this is Uranus in Gemini squaring Venus, now traveling in the sign of Virgo. So this can be an interesting energy at this time, because both Uranus and Venus are both traveling in signs that are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde. So usually when we are dealing with Uranus, there can be very sudden things that are being expressed. And with Venus, these things can be related to love, relationships, our values, our creativity, our expression in the world, and related to how we deal with money and resources as well. Now, because we are dealing with Uranus and Venus being in the houses of Mercury and Mercury retrograde ruling these, there can be a sense of, again, this being a much more inward exploration, where we are inwardly changing our perspectives and our views and our inner experience first, before it might show up in the outer world. The card that I received for this Uranus squaring Venus from Gemini to Virgo is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of luxury. You can see this lady, she's in the garden, she's surrounded by beauty, she's got a hawk on her hand, which denotes that she's got leisure time, you know. She is surrounded by pentacles, so she is grounded. She may have a lot of money and feeling very balanced and in harmony with life. Now, I feel this is the invitation for all of us to, in whichever way we can, when it comes to things related to Venus, to step into more harmony. Where in your life, when it comes to Venus related things, can you find a balance between productivity and joy, you know, making life in general more harmonious? This is the invitation with this card. Being productive and allowing free time, having hobbies, connecting to beauty. You know, the invitation with this card is always like connecting to those things that make you feel beautiful, connecting to things that help you to appreciate beauty, you know, allowing yourself that time to spend in nature, to go to an art gallery, to go to a concert, to a concert, you know, to allow yourself those feelings of luxury and joy. We don't often realize enough how those things feed our being and our spirit, and how important it is to connect to those things that bring us joy and harmony into our busy lives. Now, the last thing I wanted to share is the hexagram that I received for this new moon, which is number 22. It is called Grace. Now, for me, if I relate it to more Eastern philosophy and the I Ching that I relate to very strongly, and the I Ching, grace is that state of balance as well. When we are flowing with life, you know, in the Tao Te Ching, it is literally flowing with the Tao, flowing with the river of life and how it wants to carry you, and feeling very grounded in that flowing. Now, this little book of changes by Peter Crisp, it reads for hexagram 22, Grace. The world is a beautiful place when your life is full of grace. You, like a fire on a mountain, a radiant inner glow, brightening and gladdening every aspect of your existence. So it really is connecting to that inner state of glow, that inner state of flow that we can connect to when we allow ourselves stillness, when we allow ourselves time in nature, connecting to art, connecting to music, whatever brings you a sense of stillness that is not related to technologies and busyness and working too much. That is your inner fire, your inner radiant glow that you can bring to the world. It suggests, as the moon reflects the glory of the sun, you too can create beautiful reflections to enrich the world. Attend to the details. Refine and polish the threads you weave together to create a tapestry of delight, so you can live in a state of grace. So this is so beautiful, because I find that, you know, with the Eastern philosophies, it often is, in some of the other translations of the Hexagram 22, the emphasis is very strong on that, focusing on the little things, and focusing on the little things in the end, in the long-term perspective, it brings the greatest amount of change and joy into our lives. So focusing on small things that cost nothing, you know, your favorite drink every day, your cup of tea, the sunshine, the flower you see on your walk, the 5 minutes of meditation that you can fit into your day. Those little things can bring immense change and immense benefit to the whole collective on this planet, by making small shifts to where we place our focus. It can bring so much grace into our own lives and into the whole energy of the planet. So that is the invitation at the time of this new moon. It feels very beautiful to me, like we can really connect to ourselves in a new emotional way that feels much more harmonious and balanced, and that we are all on this planet ready for expansion that really is close to our hearts and our values, you know. So I truly wish those beautiful things for all of us. Thank you so much for being here. Please connect with me. I am running my beautiful monthly group, the Moon Wisdom Lab. It helps you to understand your chart and your life in such a beautiful way, as we look at, for a whole month, how the moon travels through your chart. It is a beautiful inner and outer experience in terms of connecting to your life, your astrology chart, and your own intuition as we walk through this month in a small group. You only need about 10 minutes, 15 days, around 15 days of the month. So it's a beautiful journey of growth and connection with only investing a small amount of time. Also, please connect with me through personal sessions. I'm offering astrology, tarot, and beautiful other session work on my website as well. The links will be below. I am grateful for every single person that showed up here. Please share with others who may find value here, and leave your comments. I would love to know what is unfolding for you in your life at the time of this new moon. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again soon.